live in a land paid for by blood, a country that was built up from sticks and mud. Our ancestors crossed 1,000 miles over the ocean, leaving behind a past that was negative emotion. When they first sighted land, they all jumped overboard and swam. They couldn't believe they were living in freedom. The government they once had didn't need them. It was tough during the first days, figuring this strange land. Many grouped together and started a plan. They knew they needed something to keep them in line. This is when they wrote the Constitution, man, it was divine. A bunch of men agreeing never lost their mind. They gave us all our freedom, one amendment at a time. And when they finished writing, 39 men had to sign. We have freedom, you can't take away. The Constitution guarantees that, so take your false authority and go the fuck away. The next 200 years came with a price. A bunch of men and women gave the ultimate sacrifice. They did it for the people alive today. You don't hear very many taking 3 times to say thank you, whoever you are who gave your life, and for their families left on earth alone for their life. Thank you for your gift, the life that you gave. It lets us live as free men. Oh, glory we will wave. Now we are here in 2025, a year led by selfishness. There's no surprise, the government is taking over. It's a friggin' mess. Our kids are being taken by people who must be diseased. Who the hell gave them that power? These actions need to cease. So listen up, you voted officials, we are here to say you need to pay attention to issues, because we aren't going away. We come bearing the Constitution, well recited if we may. We the people is how it begins. The words that follow, you can fill them in, because they are true as they were meant to be. You're taking our freedoms one at a time. No one's paying attention except for us reciting these lines. You don't get to take away the rights we were given. Taking away our children should get you in prison. I'm not messing around, it's no laughing matter. Give our children freedom, or feel your teeth shatter. We are the ones who make the decisions. You lost track of your job, we're here to petition. This is your final chance. America doesn't need to fight a civil war. We just need you politicians to hit the door. So do the right thing and leave this city of Washington, or turn things around, give us something to pawn again. Give us back our children, not one at a time. We all want them back home on 49. In the woods where the pine trees sway lies a truth they've tried to hide away. Broken homes built on cash and lies, children's tears with no goodbyes. City halls wrapped in walls so proud, whispers buried beneath the cloud. Promised stars that just never shone, kids forgotten and left alone. The Punisher's here to make it right. Pity's voice will break the night. Expose the webs they try to weave. Maine's children need a reason to believe. In the corners where the shadows meet. Little souls afraid to speak. Guardians with hearts so cold sell the young for stacks of gold. Dark secrets under moonlit skies. No more hushed or quiet cries. Stand up tall and shine the light. Justice calls and we'll unite. The Punisher's here to make it right. Vinny's voice will break the night. Expose the webs they try to weave. Maine's children need a reason to believe. Punisher's here to make it right. Vinny's voice will break the night. Expose the webs they try to weave. Maine's children need a reason to believe.
Vincent. Hello, Vincent.
Hello, 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 everybody.
What is up, my man?
World of bullshit.
Did you see that? Let's just share this with everybody here. So we always talk about, and I know this is a main show, but did you see this Title IV funding back in September? I don't know how this went by us.
Yeah, I don't know how it did.
Look at this, guys. Let me get this set up first. Sorry about this here. Let's do this here. We're gonna do something a little bit different than normal. Let's see. I wonder when Herbert's gonna do his own show.
I know, it'd be awesome to see Herbert do his own show.
Yeah, I wish Herbert would do like a police show like once a week or something, It'd be cool.
Even if it's 30 minutes or so.
Yeah, just a short little, thing. I don't know. We'll see what Herbert says. But anyway, where's the song? I don't know where it is. So we'll just go to this one. So somehow, Vinny, the funding that we talk about, and then we thought it was out of that they had phased it out. But Tiff this morning sent this article to all of us showing that Title IV
is in fact not phased out.
Look at this. On September 18th, the U.S. House of Representatives passed the Supporting America's Children and Families Act, H.R. 9076, comprehensive package reauthorizing and updating Title IV-B of the Social Security Act. The bipartisan legislation makes modest improvements to Title IV-B programs, including new resources for child welfare workforce recruitment and retention and additional flexibility to serve families experiencing poverty. Counties support H.R. 9076, which will support our ability to provide flexible services to children, youth, and families at risk are currently involved with the child welfare system. Wow.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. $300 million increase in mandatory funding over 4 years. The new investment would support families affected by substance use disorders, improvements to child welfare legal proceedings, dedicated funding for tribes, and research and evaluation. Now, isn't that funny? They're going to give an extra $300 million to the things that either need help right now or have needed help or don't matter in a TPR or in that resource. That's crazy. New resources to support child welfare caseworkers, including funds for recruitment, retention, and technology improvements, as well as flexibilities to conduct virtual visits with foster youth over the age of 18. Oh, get this one, Vinny. Relationship between poverty and neglect. New flexibility for formula grant dollars to help families short-term benefits to address a crisis or a situation that is affecting the ability of the child to remain in their home. Now, see, all of a sudden they're trying to squeeze poverty into a reason to take your child.
Yep. When it's been there all along, and we all know it. They don't bother the rich. They bother the ones that are moderate to poor. Whether you're black, Hispanic, white, American, Indian, they're going after everybody across the board. And it seems to be a thing lately. Like, I'm seeing more and more families come out in these groups and speak out. And some of them are even posting on the news channels and coming out, and even under legislative bodies, they're coming out and speaking up that our governor here in Maine needs to go. Well, we the people are the ones that need to take her out of office. We have that power over the legislative body.
Yeah, we do. I mean, everything that they're doing every day, they're just committing acts of treason over and over and over again.
And they don't care.
Just simply not upholding their oath of office is reason enough to abide by the Constitution. Is enough to put them in jail. You know, we elect public officials. We do so thinking that they're going to have our wants and needs and all of that stuff in mind as they are our selection. That's why we vote, right? Because we pick the people that have our ideas and our concerns in their campaigns. That's what they go by, right? But when they get there, they also have to abide by the rules set forth by our forefathers, and that's the Constitution, right? Then we also have a Bill of Rights. And these people, once they get there, they act like it's the Wild West. They can do whatever they want, whatever they want, however they want, and no one's going to stop them. And no one has stopped them. That's why we're at the crux that we're at right now. Nobody has put a wrench in their machine to try to slow it down or anything. I mean, look at this. Let's just throw another $300 million into Title 4B. If this doesn't tell you people that the Child Protective Services in our country isn't funding our government, then I don't know what does. Our military can't even get a $300 million increase to pay these troops a little bit more than minimum wage.
Yeah, and that's sad, because our military is what backs our country.
They deserve the best of the pay. They deserve the maximum pay that they should be able to make. They put their lives on the line for us so that we have the freedoms of doing these podcasts, this, that, and the other. So why are they just making minimum wage? It makes no sense. But yeah, we're going to give $300 million to a program that has just been riddled with corruption and stealing money and thievery and forgery and plagiarism and all kinds of things. Well, let's give them another $300 million on top of whatever else they're going to add into that. Because, that's just not all of it. There's a couple $100,000 here, a couple thousand there, a couple $100,000 on this other bill that's attached.
I guess we'll be watching that funding coming into Maine to see what they exactly get on the book.
Well, I mean, that means that we got to get her at that certain place for dinner at that night at a specific time, watch in a specific direction. That's a lot of work, Vinny. Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm into it.
So, yeah, this is just amazing to me. That the Strengthening State and Tribal Child Support Enforcement Act. Oh,
hey, Danielle. Hey, Debbie. Hey, Brenda. Hey, Tammy. Hi, Mr. Herbert. Hi, Miss Clearwater. Good to see you.
What the hell's going on outside?
And anyone else that is watching, I see that we got 9 viewers up there on the board, so welcome all who are participating.
Yeah, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, tap your head, do a dance, all that stuff. Improving the collection of past due child. Look at the first thing in there. Section 2, improving the effectiveness of tribal child support enforcement agencies. Improving the collection of past due child support through state and tribal party.
Didn't they rule on that child support was unconstitutional?
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that they ruled on something about the Indians too. Shoot, agree. applicability to Indian tribes and tribal organizations receiving a grant under this part. This section, except for the requirement to distribute amounts in accordance with Section 457, shall apply to an Indian tribe or tribal organization receiving a grant under Section 455 in the same manner in which this section applies to a state with a plan approved under this part. Jesus. The Internal Revenue Code of 1986 is amended by striking any local child support enforcement agency.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this is definitely corruption within our government and legislative bodies. That should tell you that CPS is definitely the ones backing the legislative bodies. This is horrible.
Yep. Oh, wow. Whew. That'll take the wind right out of your sails on a Saturday, huh?
Yeah, man. I mean, so won't what was said to me. I got a message at 12 o'clock last night, and I wanna read this to you guys, and this is from my attorney, because I sent him this thing about Chris and how the courts are making a profit off of our bonds and whatnot. He said, "Hi, Vinny. I'm not sure what we're looking at. Are you saying that your attorneys are involved in some nefarious against you?" Well, let me answer that question. When a government body is got a site that takes your bonds and turns them into profit throughout the court system and takes away from your retirement funding that is given to you from birth, that is fraud, people. The government is frauding we the people. And that includes attorneys, DALs, judges, all across the board.
That's just, I can't even grasp this, Vinny. That's just so, it's like a, makes you want to vomit.
Well, I mean, there's other theories out there too. I was reading an article about the the ice shelf over in around us, and there's theories on there is a beyond that ice wall, there is other things, and people are starting to investigate that, and they're finding that there really is
a whole new world. Yeah, but let's toe the line, Vinny. Let's stay in focus here. Raise the sharp, buddy. We're in Maine right now.
Yep.
That's where we gonna be.
But there was a new post put out a couple days ago on News Channel 13. Let me pull it up real quick. That said, scroll down. So much bullshit on here, it's not even funny. Right here. Maine's child welfare system has been under scrutiny recently. Maine Child Welfare Ombudsman presents reports to Government Oversight Committee.
Yeah, there it is. Now, here's the thing. I've contacted them, the Maine Government Oversight Committee. I forget. Let me see if I can pull it up here.
I did too. I contacted the head of them.
Yeah.
And you know what I got? Well, you have another case in a different court, so therefore we cannot talk to you. The fuck?
Oh, Angry Citizen wants to join us.
Hell yeah. Let's get him out of here.
Yeah, Angry Citizen. Come on in, baby. We don't copy the invite link. He wants me to send it to him via email. So, angry citizen, here we come with an email. Yeah, I mean, this is just absolutely. What the hell was I saying before that? The oversight committee. They sit in a powerful position. And what is the purpose of the oversight committee really? What do they do? You know what I'm
Nothing.
saying? Like
sit on
they say that they come out with all of this stuff, but yet they say when you write to them that there's nothing that they can do about it.
the
So
same with
what is the
ombudsman.
purpose of the
They
oversight?
tell you they cannot help in your case, and they deliver like you can send them as much information as possible, and they'll still deny it.
Yep.
So what is the point of having the ombudsman and the oversight? I think that it should be privately ran.
Ombudsman, I thought was supposed to be a neutral player in the game.
They can't be neutral because they're in the same office as CPS. So how can they play that they're neutral?
I thought they were supposed to be.
Nope, they're in the same office as them.
Oh, right. Well, that was exciting for a minute. But did this one just fly out by himself?
I think that if they're gonna supposedly represent we the people and be a committee that goes against CPS to help families, they should not be in the same office, and they should be under strict guidelines by the state.
Yep, I agree. I mean, they do so much wrong. We have so much news articles up here that show that in the state of Maine that these caseworkers are not following federal guidelines or following their own statutes and codes. They're doing all of these things wrong. How many kids have been taken away wrongfully in the state of Maine? How many kids are gone and missing from their loving families in the state of Maine that people are going to get this time back? They've been gone 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, 12 years, 15 years. How many people out there is there, that this has happened to? Because this didn't just start happening. These behaviors they were being passed down by one layer to the other. Like the old crawling in the new. These patterns and everything that they go by are things that they have already been a part of. Like this is what they've been doing for 100 years. So there's so many parents out here in the state of Maine that their rights have been terminated for no reason whatsoever, including mine.
They don't care about us, and they don't care about we the people. They're all about their profit. It's all about their money.
Yep.
As long as they got that money coming in, they don't give a shit.
Nope. No, I don't blame you there, buddy. I don't either.
I mean, obviously, you see it in the news reports. If you all are interested to find out, go to WGME CBS 13 News Portland, Maine, and you will find lots of posts about CPS on it, as well as WABI and a couple others. There is tons of reports. Portland Press. There's tons of reports on Maine alone. Maine is the thriving to it all. And I've also recently found out that Maine has a connecting. Maine children leave here through the state and go all the way to Ohio, Chicago area, and then down from there. Chicago is the hub of all trafficking in the U.S.
Cool. Ready? You ready for this? From the Office of the Inspector General. Okay. Oh, this angry citizen's in the back. When he's ready, Benny, bring him out.
All right. When I see him pop in over there, I'll
see his beautiful mug.
There he is.
See his good big stuff. We'll have him come in.
Mr. Angry Citizen, how are we?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Here he is.
Here I am.
You are beautiful. You are marvelous. You know that. Dana, do you know that you are a beautiful, sexy man?
What does that say? Maine did not what?
So, this says, Abuse and neglect against child by a parent, caregiver, or another person can have a long-term impact on the child's health, opportunity, and well-being. Abuse can be physical, sexual, or emotional in nature. Neglect is failure to meet the child's basic needs, such as housing, food, clothing, education, and access to medical care. So then this audit is part of a series that examines states' compliance with the requirements of the Child Abuse Prevention and Treatment Act for the immediate screening, risk and safety assessment, and investigation of reports of child abuse and neglect. Based on our risk assessment and report by Maine Child Welfare Ombudsman that identified substantial issues where there was a deviation from best practices or adherence to policy or both that had a material effect on the safety and best interest of the children or rights of the parents. We selected Maine for our first audit. But then it said here, on the basis of our sample results, we estimated that 94% of child abuse and neglect reports reviewed were not in compliance with one or more requirement related to immediate screening, risk and safety assessment, and investigation. 94% of the people that they screened, they were not in compliance with.
Oh, you got something new too, Dylan. I'm gonna send it to you.
Wow. Where's our boy? He's in.
Yep.
Where are we? Here. There we go. Let's see. There he is. Sexy man, you.
What's going on, Aaron? No good, scurrilous knave.
Dana, did you hear what I just read?
Yes, I did, and I'd like to say I'm surprised, but I can't be. You know, our government in Maine is the most colossal failure. It's I mean, honestly, I can't even say that. Look at what's going on in California. I mean, California is a disaster. The whole state's been a disaster for a long time. But ours is pretty bad. Our governor is a criminal, and most of the people that are in these offices have perjured their oaths. And, you know, we've discussed this before. They set up these so-called agencies, and these agencies don't actually have any authority, but everyone pretends they do. And then not only do they not do the thing they're supposed to do, they will, in fact, do pretty much the opposite. And CPS is a great example. They come on, oh, yeah, we're going to protect children, and instead they kidnap them from loving parents and then put them into abusive situations and destroy their brains, their psyches, their developing, personalities by putting them into highly stressful situations where, again, they're kidnapped from their parents, often with, screaming, no, please don't take me. Off they go to be held by strangers and thrown into circumstances that are, we haven't even begun to have it proven to us that they're safer. And in fact, we've seen just the opposite. The CPS, not only in our state, but in other states, conspicuously ignores occasions where children are a dire threat, okay, and then they're beaten to death. And we hear them in the news now. This little boy was beaten to death. CPS have been notified 3, 4, 5 times, but somehow they have time to go kidnap Darren's child.
Yeah.
And, it's like a bad skit. It's like a Monty Python skit.
And the worst part about that, though, Dana, is that both them parents, the father which I met, the mother I did not, but the mother was a caseworker for the state.
Wow. Can't make
Yeah,
that up.
Yeah, that's crazy. And then when they talk about the ombudsman, they're running hand in hand with the caseworkers and with CPS. Like they're a direct link, but yet they're supposed to be an independent auditing person for, they're supposed to be a referee, if you will. And how can you do that when you're in direct contact, direct line of sight with the rest of CPS? It doesn't make any sense, So you don't stand a chance, and these numbers just prove it. But here's my question: fine, they can change this stuff now. What are they going to do about the parents that have unfairly been already wrecked through the system and have lost their children? What are they going to do for them? Because something needs to be done. Whether it's a financial compensation, which I could give a shit less about money. I want my kid back. But you're going to give me some goddamn money to pay for the damage that you've done to her and our family. You damn right made it going to pay for that.
I agree with you, as you probably know. No shock. I agree with you completely. And it's in many issues, this is what we face, that these things happen, and then we're faced with making them stop. But then afterward, you got to ask yourselves, well, all the ones that did happen, what about those? I'm all about accountability, and I'm all about criminal charges. And when I speak of these things, I know what I'm talking about, because I've spent, as you know, a lot of time studying the law, the history, the Constitution. I've learned from some of the finest scholars in this land, and it's raw truth. It's kidnapping. They are guilty of kidnapping. It's a federal offense. They could and should be charged with kidnapping. Every person that acts as an agent is acting under color of law, and that is a felony. If you deprive someone of their God-given constitutionally protected rights under color of law, you are a felon. And we're not seeing a lot of accountability because we, the people, have accepted these paradigms over the years that the corruption has built up. We just accept this. We accept that they have this power and authority, and we go, well, you got to do what you got to do. Our court systems have become more and more and more corrupt, steadily evolving in their levels of corruption, until now they don't even care. They don't even pretend they're doing the right thing. They just make up their little proclamations, kick you out on your feet, and sorry, you're screwed because you're not rich. And we all know, side note here, America, we all know that if you're filthy rich and they come to your house, they're less likely to pursue any kind of action against you. And if they do, your chances of getting lawful justice are much higher. If you can pay a fleet of attorneys, a small army of attorneys to go to court for you, they listen to you and they pay attention. If you're just a poor schmuck like the rest of us, poor working schmuck trying to put food on the table and pay the damn rent, you don't have tens of thousands of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars to bribe some bar attorney to go to court and argue on your behalf. You're screwed. You have the full weight of the government, on your neck. And after it's all, hopefully after the dust settles and we do get things fixed, which I hope that, even though it sounds incredibly daunting, and I know you do too, and here you are, and I admire your courage and dedication, Darren. Seriously, dude, you impress me, brother. I've told you this before, but I want America to hear it. You are one dedicated son of a bitch, and I admire you for that, and I will always have your back. And I will always use my voice, because they can't shut me down, brother. They will not shut me up. I am a constitutional American. I have rights. They're guaranteed me. They're inalienable. That we have a process of law. They can't just ignore it and expect to get away with it. And if enough of us get behind it, and that's what you're seeing now, like there's a couple different Facebook groups that I see posts on every day. One is called the Fatherhood Movement, and it talks about these things. And there's tens, hundreds of thousands of us pissed as hell, ready to take action. That's the first step. So, and then afterward, back to your point, which is, okay, once we establish that, no, this is not okay, and I'd love to see them abolished, but at very least reduced to an informational organization. They're just going to gather data. If there's genuine harm being caused, if the child is genuinely in danger, they pass that to law enforcement. Hopefully,
that only makes sense, right? That only makes sense. If you're committing a crime,
which should be through the law enforcement.
The act of a crime, you should be going to jail.
Yeah. And if they're taking your children, kidnapping your children, then they're acting unlawfully. And if it's done without due process, if you could contend that some agency, organization, or individual has some authority to take your child, let's assume that they can prove harm, they do take your child, they're still committing a crime, because it hasn't been established that they have the authority to take your child away from you. They can charge you with a crime. If you're harming your child, that's a crime. They arrest you, they take you to jail. But the fate of the child always stays within the family, unless, there is no family, no one to take the child.
Since when do you remove the victim from their comfort zone? Oh, the kid's abused, all this. Let's take it away and put it into a family that's going to rape him or something like that. Like, these kids should be going to Disney. I don't know about Disney World now, but they should be going to some amusement park or some hotel, Candyland place. If their lives are so bad and that they're getting beaten by their parents so bad and the abuse and neglect is so bad that they have to remove them from their family, you shouldn't just be jamming them in with some other family that could give two shits about them. You should be bringing them to some magical place to reset their minds and make them perfect, or make them forget, not this shit they're doing. It just goes to show you, they don't even have enough places to put the kids that they're taking. They don't even have enough places for that. So maybe that should tell you, slow down. You know, maybe
Yes.
that should tell you something.
Well, and the miserably failed vetting system, their contention, they're saying, well, we're going to take care of your child because you can't, and then they bring them to a place where harm is caused to them. That's an abomination. It's the embodiment of evil, because think of the child. The child has no choice. They can't say, no, I don't want to go there. I want to go here. I want to do this. So, and I was in that situation as a child. I had a lot of issues with my dad, and I ended up just walking out one day, and then I was a minor, so I was technically, not able to make my own decisions about where I wanted to go. And that was very frustrating because, I was utterly miserable where I was. And, I wanted to have control of my own fate, my own destiny. Just because I wasn't 18, I'm like, why does that mean I can't determine where I want to be? The fate of the child, or the status of the child, should be at least partly up to the child. If a child says, at one point, please don't take me, I don't want to, go, they should take that into consideration. Because if the child says, no, I want to stay with my mom, how do you say no? How do you say no to a child and rip them away from their loving parent?
They do it all the time.
So Dana, I don't know if you saw on WGME 13, but one of the Maine Superior Court judges ruled that Maine is violating constitutional rights. What's your opinion on that?
Well, I mean, as you know, I'm a huge constitutionalist, which we should all be. There shouldn't be anyone in America going, no, I don't like the Constitution. You're either a totalitarian fan or a communist. And if you like those things, there's other places you can go. You can move to China, you can move to North Korea. So we should all be as firmly aligned on the Constitution as we can, because every other issue takes a back seat, becomes secondary. The ruling is I did read about this very briefly, and yeah, any ruling in our favor helps us, because not only does it give people kind of the standard that this is in fact what we're going to do, we are going to follow the Constitution, but it sets a precedent for other cases. And the more we the people make our own voices heard, the more likely you are to see this. Because let's face it, like we talked about the last time I was on, the fact that CPS gets away with a lot of stuff they get away with because they do it in the shadows. No one knows what's going on except the person being affected and their immediate family. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't put it on TV. They don't have a special report. And we're going to talk to this guy, Darren, the Punisher, CPS Punisher, and talk to him about what happened to him and bring it out in front of him, the entire state of Maine. Why? Because all of us fathers would be pissed as hell, right? It would create a huge public opinion problem for them, because all of us would go, what the hell are you talking about? This guy had his child taken away. Why? On the thinnest, stupidest pretense you've ever heard, and kidnapped, taken away, no contact allowed. And a lot of us know that if it can happen to him, it can happen to us. So public awareness is huge. And now that we see these things and it comes out, and even the mainstream media, which we know is corrupt, forced to print this to try to hang on to a shred of credibility, they have to say it, oh, this happened. Like we always publish this stuff. Well, you don't. You publish selectively whatever you want. You're only doing this so you can pretend you have credibility and pretend that you're always giving us accurate information. But either way, it doesn't matter why. That's where we are. It's coming out. The truth is coming out. And the more of us get on board with this, the more clout we have. And eventually we will outnumber them 99-1. And we live in an information age. I don't know if you guys ever watched Dan Bongino, but the guy's awesome. You go to rumble.com/Bongino, and this guy is absolutely amazing. He's saying a lot of stuff that I want to say. And, he's all about, we are the media, right? He's gotten like 1 million, 2 million views at a whack on Rumble when he does his lives. He does them every morning at 11 o'clock, and he speaks the truth, and he cites facts, and he plays videos of people that, like he was talking about the Democrats all going on at great length about how there's no one's above the law. Remember this? No one's above the law. No one's above the law. He put together a montage of all these hardcore Democrats, speaking into microphones, loudly proclaiming, boldly proclaiming, no one is above the law. No one is above the law. And then Joe Biden pardons his kid, right? Boom, you're caught lying, liar, liar, pants on fire. There you are lying. So you can come on and say whatever you want. And if people want to watch you, they will. And obviously they do, because here we are, with a whole bunch of folks in the comments talking and agreeing. And the more we get our voices out there, the less space they have to hide. So once we get them all out in the light, I'm not religious, as you know, I'm not a Christian, but a lot of Christian phrases pop out of my mouth these days. Bring them into the light, let the light remove the darkness. The truth will be revealed, and then we, the people, will start making some decisions based on what we want. And the tyrants and their agents will be forced to account for their behavior, because it's all a matter of record. So they can all be arrested, they can be tried, they can be thrown in jail, even right up to the highest echelons of our government, where if they are guilty of treason, they will pay the appropriate lawful price for treason. Look it up, folks. I'm not going to say it.
Darren, you should check your CPSV Hunting Justice. Danielle sent us a thing about Maine that we should show out there.
Hey, that was Dan Bongino on Rumble.
Bongino, 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 Dan Bongino. He's former Secret Service, worked in the Presidential Protection Detail, testified before Congress many times about issues related to the Secret Service. He had some brutal comments about the assassination attempts on Trump. The guy is a badass. He's absolutely spitting truth. It's amazing. Highly recommend.
Dan Bongino. All right.
Yep. You go to rumble.com/Bongino. You'll
we have a Rumble too. So we can't get live on it though, because we don't have enough followers. We need to have 5 followers to start that. So if you guys go to Rumble, please look us up.
I do highly recommend Rumble. Also, for those of you listening, a couple little tips. In the cyber world, if you want to be relatively secure in your communications, get a Proton Mail account. Proton Mail will give you a free account. You can upgrade if you want to, but you don't have to. You can get a modest account for free. And if you send and receive from Proton Mail, so if I send you a message from my Proton Mail account to your Proton Mail account, you will have the best possible assurance of privacy. There's no 100%. Remember, just like you can't make your house burglar proof. You can spend tons of money trying to put an alarm. You can put locks on the doors. But if there's an absolutely fiercely determined, highly skilled thief, might still be able to break in. It's the same thing in the cyber realm. So Proton Mail, go to protonmail.com. You can get yourself a free. I do it not because I have anything to hide, and I'm very vocal about this, as you know, Darren. I have nothing to hide. I'm not doing anything unlawful, but I don't want anyone up in my damn business. So that's why I got my Proton Mail account. So highly recommend that. Rumble is a great platform. Check it out. I'm going to tell you something that's going to be hotly controversial here, but I love X. Okay, X, formerly Twitter, purchased by Elon Musk. And there's a lot of controversy about Elon Musk. I keep getting, whenever I mention X in any way on Facebook, my friends immediately pepper me, telling me how evil and terrible Elon Musk is. He's helping the Antichrist, blah, 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 whatever. Well, I don't care about any of that. Here's what I care about. Elon Musk bought Twitter. He said he would restore free speech. So now you can say, vaccines are dangerous. You can say the World Trade Center 9/11 was an inside job. You can say whatever you want to say, okay? And they won't shut you down for that. And the people on there that I want to listen to, I know are the people that in question. You can try to fake your ID, but you really can't. As soon as you figure out who the real Donald Trump is on X, then you know that anything's posted on that account is actually coming from Donald Trump, not some wannabe pretend hacker. So those things help. And if I want to reply, I can reply. I can say whatever I want. So I don't know if Elon Musk is a great guy or a terrible guy. Maybe he is the Antichrist. I don't know. But I do know that I can post on X and I can say whatever the hell I want. And I'm listening to the people that I want to listen to. I have a long list of people that I want to hear what they have to say, including the president. Whether you like him or not shouldn't matter. He is the president, and you should be hearing what he has to say. And if you approve of what he's doing, you should throw your support in and say, sure, okay, he says, let's secure the border. Do I like him or hate him? Doesn't matter. We do want to secure the border. Who doesn't want a secure border, right? So check out Rumble, check out X, get yourself a Proton Mail account. It's free. Again, you got nothing to lose by doing it, to give yourself the best assurance of security on your communications.
Yes, sir. I like that. That was very nice. That was very good. Without having a script, I mean, you sucked me right in. I'm ready to go do all of those things.
Good, because action steps are what win.
Right.
I was thinking about this the other day, and I'm actually cautiously optimistic. People keep saying, well, how you feeling about what's going on in the country, blah, blah, blah. very cautiously optimistic,
Yeah.
because what we see is a strong surge in the correct direction. Accountability, transparency, and again, it shouldn't matter whether you love or hate Donald Trump. Shouldn't matter. Doesn't matter. He is the president.
America.
He wants to secure the border. I'm in agreement with him on that. He wants to have America first policies, like we shouldn't be sending billions of dollars to foreign nations to fund their wars while the people of Western North Carolina are in danger of being kicked out into the cold because their government vouchers from FEMA are running out and the hotel is telling them you have to get out.
Right.
See, that's a problem. We have homeless
Yep.
veterans sleeping on the damn streets, but we're sending money to Ukraine, right? Who do you know that approves of that? Have you met one person, Darren, or you, Vinny? Tell me, either one of you met one person that said, I am so glad we are sending money to the Ukraine. What a great thing to do. I am so happy about that.
Yes.
It's insane.
Right.
It's insane. So along
Yeah.
comes someone and says, hey, we should stop doing that. And people go, oh, he's a jerk. He's a felon. He's a fraud. He's dumb. Who cares? Do you agree
Yeah.
with them or not?
Right.
That's
What
what we should be doing.
Right.
So as
Don't
long
worry
as he's doing
Right.
stuff that makes our country better and secures us as a nation and as a people, I'm going to support him, and I won't stop
Right.
doing that.
Man, I tell you, it's just it's nothing surprises me anymore at all. You know, nothing
Right.
at all. Like
I
the
used to
element of
think
surprise has been
that-
removed from my life.
I used to think that there was a point at which people would finally get, angry enough
Right.
to start doing stuff and taking action. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I watched as our government really upped the ante way, way past what I thought it would take for people to finally say, that's enough. I'm pissed. What do we do? Right. And all my life, I've been telling people what we do, and they always tell me I'm wrong. There's 10 people in the room. I speak. Let's do this. There's first someone always jumps up and goes, that will never work. You're wrong. You're foolish. It won't matter. They don't care what you have to say. Blah, blah, blah. Your voice doesn't matter.
Right.
And this is false. True that I cannot write a letter right now to someone in power, send it, and they will immediately read my letter and go, oh, hey, this Dana the Angry Citizen guy says I should do this, so I'm going to do it. That's not how it works. How it works is
Right.
we all
Yes.
make the calls. All of us get on board. When you find an alignment, you form groups. That's what we're doing right here. All of us here are pissed as hell because the agency called Child Protective Services is kidnapping and endangering children. So we
Yep.
unite and we get together, and with one powerful voice, we tell them, number one, you have no authority to be doing this. Number two, we see you doing it. We're mad as hell, and you're going to pay a price for it because you're criminals. You are committing crimes. Number three, we all get together and make our voices heard to the people that matter: the governor, the legislators, the all elected servants. And we tell them, this is how we feel. And we tell them in a loud voice that we don't work for you. You work for us. You serve us. We tell you what to do. You don't tell us what's going to happen. And once we cement that, we will see this whole situation coming under scrutiny, and then there will be results, and there will be justice, and there will be accountability, including criminal charges. And I will be in the front row when it happens.
Man.
Done. I'm off my soapbox.
Man, that was good. Whew. That was a rush. That was
People are always
freaking
like,
great.
why are you so mad? Why wouldn't you be mad? Do you see what's going on in our country?
Right.
Jeffrey Epstein
You don't
didn't kill
understand?
himself. Look at these fires they're popping up. In the news, they say the fires erupt. America, fires don't erupt.
Right.
They start. Something starts the fire. They don't just appear unless you're in a freaking volcano zone, right? And look at the news saying all the time the news is going, growing fears, growing concerns, fear, horror, concern. Every time the weather gets rough, right? I live in Maine, folks. Let me tell you something. It gets cold as hell here, and it snows in the winter. Sometimes we get freezing rain, blizzards. It's not a shock. It happens every year.
Yeah,
but the news comes on and talks about it like we've never seen this. It's unprecedented. A snowstorm. We're going to get 6 to 8 inches of snow. Schools are closing. It's fear.
Woo.
Fear. So
Wow, that was good, man. That was real good. I'm pulling up this thing from Danielle right now. You got to excuse me, guys. I'm a little bit nasally, and I don't know what happened. I tested for COVID, but I do not have it, so that's good.
Yeah, thanks
I'm
for that
glad.
info. I just got a Proton account.
Rock on.
All right, there he is. Look at Vinny just stepping right up, getting stuff done.
I paid for an account myself personally, but that, there's extra features. Like you get a free one, it's a basic account. But if you want to upgrade, you can upgrade, and you can actually
Yeah, it's
use your
pretty
free
cheap
account.
too, like
And then
$3.99
it's
and up.
yeah, yeah. And then at some point, if you feel like upgrading, anytime you can upgrade, and you can change your account. So
Yep. Good stuff.
CPS, child pedophile screwballs, says Brett.
Yeah, right.
True.
Jesus Christ. So, Maine DHHS struggles in child welfare practices continue. 2024 Ombudsman's report right here. It's just I'll put this story in the link. Again, 2 days later, read this shit. Department down DHS Welfare Director Todd Landry, who stepped down. Ombudsman delves into a great detail concerning the 80 cases reviewed over the past year. Over 44 of the cases to have found substantial issues, 21 primarily involved investigations, while 17 surrounded reunification. The 6 remaining cases had varying issues.
Hey, Jonathan.
Oh, man. But here again, I ask, what are they going to do for the parents that have already been through this and their kids are TPR'd and gone?
Well, there's almost nothing that
What
they
can
can
be
do.
done? Right.
But what can be done would be a reunification in the best possible manner it can be done, but it's no easy thing. It's like trying to put together a broken egg. You know what I'm saying? There is no easy path. You can't get
Takes a
back.
lot
You
of
can't
tape.
go back in time. You can't give back all the time that, parents have lost with their children. You can't undo the horrors and atrocities that happened to the children when they got kidnapped. It's just unfortunately, you can't unspill the milk, but you can clean it up. That's the best we can do. And also make sure it doesn't happen again. Make sure it stops, first of all, and implement a very specific process for evaluating whether or not a child is actually in harm's way. And the first step is to involve law enforcement, not agents. And again, folks, I tell you, America, and it's funny, I've said this many times, not one person ever has said I'm wrong about this. Agents have no lawful authority. They don't. Trace it to the roots. You'll see what I'm talking about. These agencies were created out of thin air by a government that does not have the authority to do it. We, the people, delegated limited authority to our government, to do very specific things. And the Constitution very clearly states that if we don't give them the authority, they don't have it, period.
Right.
Hmm.
But they act like they do, you see. Everyone goes along with it. That's why it works. And that's why they get away with it. So once we all stop going along with it. Yeah, you're right, Danielle. You can't undo the damage. It just. Darren's going to fall asleep on us.
No, I'm just trying to get this letter right here. I hate trying to read it, man. It gets right in my eyes, and this shit, this TV's huge. So it says right here, although the Maine DHS has paid millions to Deloitte since 2009, payments skyrocketed in 2021 when they were awarded the contract to develop the new child welfare software for the department. So they're talking about the Katahdin program, which is a big waste of freaking money. 8 proposals were submitted in response to a request for proposals issued in 2019, and of the 3 finalists, Deloitte had the highest scoring and lowest cost submission. So they're the ones that run Katahdin, which is a big joke. Yep. Concerns over the Katahdin platform were also raised in a report published in 2023 by Walk a Mile in Their Shoes, a nonprofit founded by former Democrat state senator. Who is it, Vinny? Who's the state senator?
Diamond.
Bill Diamond. Yep, good old Bill Diamond. There he is. God, the report was a culmination of a series of listening sessions held throughout the state in recent months, with those know firsthand what's happening on the ground in these situations. including current and former caseworkers, foster parents, child care providers, educators, law enforcement officials, and others who interact with DHHS on a regular basis. That's all the people that are investigating in the ombudsman's report.
There it is, though. There it is. Even police officers are interacting with CPS. That tells you that they're in their pockets.
Yep. Mandatory reporting, right? Mandatory.
Yep. They're getting a cut of that funding.
And then they don't even do the job that they're supposed to be doing after all this. After all this, they fail at the job and take children from loving homes and put them into harm's way. There's the irony. It's the exact
and they kidnap
opposite.
them and make them sleep at a police station for 4 days.
Is that what happens when they kidnap them?
That's what they did to my kids. They made them sleep there for 4 days.
Wow.
Well, it's safer than going into a child molester's house.
Well, lesser of two evils. Yeah, but no child should be just kidnapped from a loving home. It's insane. The entire process is just insane, and any pretense of argument they might have to say that this is a good thing is lost in the fact that they have just failed so miserably, and the children that needed them, they weren't there for. Darren's gone. Good night, Darren. There he's
No, it's damaged goods. It's damaged goods is what that is. That's all it is. They don't want it. They're not adoptable, and that's unfortunate. That's the way it is. The kids that really need the help aren't getting it. They're not going to give it to them because they're not adoptable children. No one wants a kid that's been beaten, that has all kinds of issues, whether their parents were alcoholics and whatever the problem may be. No one wants that. They're not easily adoptable. They're not good listeners. Everybody wants a perfect little 3-year-old kid that's potty trained. They look pretty. They're good. They have come from a good background. And here you go, instant family. Congratulations, Mr. Gay Couple. You got yourself a little kid now that you didn't have to, do anything with, and it comes out perfect. That's what they're looking for. They're not looking for the kids that have real problems, that need real homes and real love and real care. They don't care about that.
Right.
It's not their MO at all. So that's until things change. That's what we're going to get. These kids were going to continue to die. There's one of those kids where in those reports that said that they called 37 times. 37 times they called on that. They didn't even get one phone call from my case. Not one. And here they are. Come, let me take a kid. Woo, Tonto's coming in. Look at Big Bad Darren and his family. They're terrible, with 2 houses and cars and dogs and fences and all this stuff that's, the neglect, the only child, oh God, what a terrible assholes, just assholes. You got to be an asshole to do that job. Wouldn't you think?
Well, I mean, look at all the, I have a friend right here in Maine. And I'm going to speak for her because she's afraid to come on the show and speak what she's found. She has uncovered that many of the caseworkers from most of the different towns are registered sex offenders.
Hardly shocking. I mean, anyone that knows anything about this realm knows that that's what predators do. They look for realms where there are children in as large quantities as they can, and where some sort of authority is given over to someone over those children. They're naturally drawn to those types of vocations. So it shouldn't shock anyone to find out that people want to apply to be social workers and caseworkers and foster care parents, not because they're loving, caring people who want to protect children, but because they're nasty pedo pervs and they want to do bad things to the children.
Yeah, and they get paid for it too.
Yep.
Hey, look at he said let's go CPS. Go Brandon.
Naylor, welcome back, man.
Go Brandon. Oh shit. Goodbye. Is it next week he does it? Says we're out of here.
What?
Wow, they don't like us talking, huh? They're freezing us up.
Oh yeah.
Next week Biden gives his goodbye address.
Yeah, next week. Yep.
13th or 16th?
Um
Oh man, that'll be a good day.
Worcester.
Yeah. Hey, what do you think, real quick? What do you think about this TikTok thing? You think it's going to go?
I don't. I don't see them letting that platform go. But there is another platform that's associated with TikTok that allows you to transfer your account from there to the new one.
Oh, what's the new one? Hickory Dickory?
I can't remember what the people have been posting, but there is a new one out there. I can't
Oh,
see
like
everything right now because of the
Clappers
restrictions
or
on my account.
Claps or something like that. Yeah. Well, that's the update for the state of Maine people this month. Dana, you got anything else you want to add in on about the state of Maine?
Just that we're hopefully going to be making some progress here soon. We seem to have a pretty strong kind of mandate going on in the legislature. So we're looking at some issues. They're not necessarily the worst issues we face, but at least there's something, and we're kind of getting a coalition together. The one on the table currently is about our they implemented a 1% tax on us to pay for family leave. Basically, it's like their idiotic forced savings program, same as like Social Security. They just take money out of your paycheck, and then if you need time off because you're sick or you have a loved one to care for or whatever, they're supposedly going to pay you. And the entire thing is just ridiculous and poorly planned and has all sorts of problems. Plus, most of us up here do not want the government taking any more money out of our paychecks. I personally am at the head of that line. I think that I already have much too much money taken out of my paycheck. Didn't really authorize any of it. Not very happy about it. And so we're seeing, I think, a pretty good assemblage of people pissed off about that. We're going to see that hopefully revoked very soon. And then, we, like every other state, we have our issues. We've got, high taxes. We've got poverty. We've got a very high rate of addiction. We've got homelessness. And in Maine, when you're homeless, man, that is no small thing. It is MF and cold outside in the wintertime. So, but then we look at states like North Carolina. And for those who don't know what's going on in Western North Carolina, these people had their homes destroyed. FEMA has been worse than useless after we've paid billions of dollars to them. There are people literally who are living in hotels with so-called FEMA vouchers that are being kicked out into the cold. Homeless people, no place to go, into the cold and the snow because FEMA's not renewing their vouchers. We got California, which, we all saw Pacific Palisades burned to the ground. These fires, just like the ones in Maui, are very suspicious. Every house is destroyed and the trees next door are fine. So think about that. That does not make sense. Okay. And there was no water in the fire hydrants. I am told that there were crews from Oregon trying to go down there, and they were stopped in San Francisco to take emissions tests for their fire trucks. I haven't
Get the hell out of here, really?
verified this, but yeah, I heard it from what I consider a reliable source. I wouldn't doubt it. It's the same.
Yeah, I've been hearing the same thing.
Ridiculous
so, yeah.
Shenanigans that they have gone way beyond incompetence. You can't account for this with incompetence. The reservoirs weren't filled. They cut the budget for the fire departments. And these are our countrymen, and they're hurting. These people were, even though a lot of them were wealthy people, still their houses burned to the ground. They had nothing left. They are, homeless and no place to go. So, we all have our problems, but we got to basically wake people up, get people involved. The more people that are involved and the more people that raise their voices, the better chance we have of getting results. That's what we want. We want results.
Yeah. Hell yeah, we do. We want answers and results.
Accountability, man.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what? It's always going to be pass the buck. It wasn't me. Why don't someone grow up and get a set of balls and say, you know what? I fucked up. I own this and let's fix it. Why can't they do that?
We never get that out of them.
Yeah, no.
Maybe Bill Diamond squeezes his ass cheeks together, Vinny, what about you? You got anything else to say, bud?
Don't forget, later on today at 7:30 is CPS Talk with me, Vinny. You guys can catch the show. I'm going to see if I can get some people on tonight with me. I'm sure Herbert will be joining me as always if he has time. If not, I would like to speak a little bit more about what's going on in my world of CPS tonight. and things that I've uncovered and found for myself. So keep informed, guys. We are still all in this together. Fathers, mothers, brothers, families, all across the nation. It's time that we ramp up our voices so we are heard as a united front.
Yeah, I like that. I love it.
You're
All
here.
right, guys. Yes, that's it. Well, hey, make sure you guys watch Vinny tonight. And I want to thank you, Dana, for coming in, joining
My
us
pleasure,
again.
Darren.
You're the man.
Yeah, have a good day, Dana.
Thanks, Vinny.
And let's go. Go, Brandon. Let's get Maine up on this thing. Get them on track. Let's get our
Go,
kids back.
Brandon. Let's go, Brandon.
Truth they've tried to hide away. Broken homes built on cash and lies. Children's tears with no goodbyes. City halls wrapped in walls so proud. Whispers buried beneath the cloud. Promised stars that just never shone. Kids forgotten and left alone. The Punisher's here to make it right. Vinny's voice will break the night. Expose the webs they try to weave. Maine's children need a reason to believe. In the corners where the shadows meet, little souls afraid to speak. Guardians with hearts so cold sell the young for stacks of gold. Dark secrets under moonlit skies. No more hushed or quiet cries. Stand up tall and shine the light. Justice calls and we'll unite. The Punisher's here to make it right. Vinny's voice will break the night. Expose the webs they try to weave. Maine's children need a reason to believe.
Imagine being a child who has been torn away from their security blanket, their parents, the ones who stopped the boogeyman from terrorizing the nights and curing their boo-boos when they scraped their knees. Now just imagine how they might'st feel when the CPS meant to protect them tears them away from their supposed abusers and places them with strangers who have zero comforting skills. They need to be calm. They are confused, lost, panicked, and needing their parents, but CPS took them away for the purpose of saving them. The kids don't even know why, and they are told that the parents they attach to no longer want them. What do you think that does? Do you think that this is how protecting children is supposed to look? Abolish CPS.